All right, well, this is the first I've seen of Roblox in a bit. It's definitely a bit different than I remember. I see they're still keeping up with moving around the games tab and making it harder for me to find. So I'm glad that's still gone. All the games, look like what I remember. Oh no. Oh no, somebody made this? That was my idea. Granted, I had 5 years to develop this, but they could have waited. So, my goal today is to check out Bloxburg to see if anything has changed since I last played in June of 2024. What I'm hoping for is that in the last few years is an improvement to the building system, a complete overhaul, and it looks like that's what the next event is going to be. So I just happen to be recording this right before they do that, so I guess this might be a two-parter. For now, I'm just hoping to gather my bearings and recalibrate myself for the game, as well as, check out any new features. And to start off, a job level rebalance could be a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not sure how recent this was, but the old system wasn't perfect, so I can appreciate a revisit. Next, there's I'm a nice game reform. Yes, I will use the in-game tools responsibly, you know me. And once I remember how to navigate the menus, we can get playing. And here's the first hurdle. They changed the map quite drastically. Again, I'm not sure when all this changed, but the map is new to me, so I guess we'll get into that a bit later. Well, let's just load in, as I've been admittedly dying to see our little village. Gregory is home. Immediately when I loaded in, something felt different. It seems like the art direction for the game has changed. I definitely think they changed something in regards to lighting. It's enough that I've had to double check my graphics settings, but everything seems to be the same on my end. Also, the screen clutter. I don't want to spend time going through all the menus, but I'm not quite worried about the daily objective right now, or that I'm starving. I can wait. The minimap is cool, but it's rather zoomed in, and it doesn't even render my plot, which is really helpful for navigation. You're in a grass field. Thanks. It sure looks like it. I'm glad to see all my ovens are still safe. At least there are some things in this world that'll never change. After a quick walk around for nostalgia's sake, I'm itching to check out this new map. Let's do a little bit of exploration. It's kind of crazy how big the map is now. It reminds me a lot of Rowville, but more of a small town USA vibe, rather than the big, expensive coastal city of Rowville. Hang on, why does my car sound like it's redlining? Did I hit something? Did they add mechanical failure? Do I need to change the oil? Okay, so as it turns out, inside town is a speed limit zone, meaning my car is automatically slowed down. What was the point of me accepting the whole I will follow the rules banner if it's just enforced on me as a player? I mean, should I stop at the stoplight, or will it do that for me too? Okay, good. I can still commit some crimes. As I can tell, they expanded the town massively, adding a sense of realism and scale that the original map was missing. Most towns aren't 3 streets, so I'm glad they at least doubled that. This building kind of reminds me of that shop and pizza place that you go to buy all your house furniture, which I really liked. I just wish it was a little more, I don't know, a bargain. $10 off $80 rain boots. I'll be sure to come back here every day. I'm also remiss to see much of the town is inaccessible and pretty much a facade, when there is so much potential there. We have this super expansive and roomy town now. Let the players build apartments, shops, businesses, casinos, something. I'd love to take over even just a little slice of property and build something there. I much prefer that over facades with blank windows. A movie theater? Okay. I'm curious exactly how this works. Well, anyway, I have a cell phone now, and it seems like this is where we access all the menus now. Much of it seems to be the same, with some new additions that I think are nice. Speaking of nice things, I really like the miniature of the town. It's not a perfect recreation, but a more than recognizable one. It's just funny to see they still have yet to do anything with this building. Beyond hosting the legacy map, it's still essentially useless. So I guess that plays into a realism local governments. So right now we're in downtown, and there are a number of districts for the town, as well as plots to build on. Lots of roleplay potential, which I think is a good thing to see that side of things get a fair treatment. But I rather miss having a long street of plots where you'd have a ton of neighbors, which, as an introvert, is an odd thing to yearn for, and you'd see all these houses around you, people interacting and such. Having everything so spread out, the map and even the downtown feels rather empty. Through my few hours driving around and exploring, I hardly saw anybody, though that may have just been my server. Alright, it's time to take care of my moods. I suppose my character has waited long enough. I started making cupcakes, so after turning that off, I'm back to making my cupcakes. But why does it sound like I'm eating crackers, and why does it take 14 bites to finish? I don't remember that. Alright, back to exploring. Let's see what's, Okay, this game might have redeemed itself. Please be everything I ever wanted. Please be everything I ever wanted. Oh my goodness, please, 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 please. Okay. Verdict's out. This game is amazing. I can't recommend it enough. Though some props appear to be broken, or perhaps I'm not worthy enough to hold this coffee mug. It quite literally falls to the ground. And the price for the rest of them is just completely absurd. And there doesn't seem to be an exact reason as to why some are free and some charge money. I get there should be a system of attainment in which we work for what we get and what we have, and there's a reward system with that. But why are flowers $50? Why is the hair iron almost $1,000? Or socks? Who made the socks $75? Tell me what wheel did they spin to price these things, where a generic model of sunscreen is valued at nearly $400. The emotes are pretty fun. My character can even backflip without any athletic skills. Though I do want to point out, the feint, as far as I remember, could only be accomplished in the old game just by ignoring all your character's moodles until they literally collapsed. And I did so to create an intro for one of my videos. But now we can save all that time and suffering to my character via the new emote. What a shame. The lighting in the game definitely changed. Now the realistic terrain looks different. I'm not gonna say it's no longer a viable approach, but it seems like some adjustments will have to be made in the method to keep it from looking too pointy, which just wasn't an issue before. Which, speaking of terrain, as far as I can tell, this game has yet to add anything for the player in that regard. Beyond all the improvised tricks that the community has found, ones that have severe limitations and often insane costs, before it really wasn't an issue, as the map was very blocky and primitive, meaning more abstract styles were very reliable. But the smooth terrain, I don't know, man. One of the major drawbacks with Roblox's smooth terrain tools is that it often doesn't allow for good views from far away. Up close and not moving, everything looks fine, though I rather dislike how painted on everything is. One color for snow, rock, grass, and dirt. But the shaping and staging is rather nice. It's not an issue of the design of the map and the layout. It's more so when you drive. So Roblox's client is going to unload portions of the map and instead substitute primitive, less detailed terrain when you're farther away, which makes performance great, but absolutely kills any sort of immersion. Even up close, Roblox will load in the new terrain right in front of you, which is noticeably different than the primitive. And so the world is just morphing around you, loading in terrain, trees, and changing colors. It's a very well-known and widely used optimization in game development, but it's just strange as my computer and my internet are more than capable of handling this at a reasonable distance where it wouldn't be so obvious. Unlike Rowville, Bloxburg actually tries to stop you from taking your car up a massively steep slope, which I'm fine with, but my car is very much stuck and needs some help, and my player decided to go back home at that moment by any means necessary. I think this is the first time I've ever fallen through the map in Bloxburg within an hour of playing it again. I just want to get to the top of this mountain, this weird reality shifting mountain. Unfortunately, I just keep having too many problems with the car, so we'll have to leave it behind. I'd probably have less trouble if I just stayed on the road, but what's the fun in that? Here's where I noticed that the snow on the trees are an off-white, kind of a beige color, while the snow on the ground is a pure white, which is a small detail, but it's displeasing enough to myself to be worth mentioning, that there's an incompatibility in terms of the terrain and the decor used in it. I also accidentally pressed the avatar button on my phone, and it undressed my character and flashed me, which I'm not sure why. And I'm also not worried about my car getting towed. Good luck towing it where I left it. Obviously, this is all relatively new, but it's just a little bit of a missed opportunity, as instead of a grand view, the render distance leaves much to be desired. I don't mean for this to be an overly negative outlook on the game as it stands now. Many of the legitimate limitations of the old map have been addressed and been given so much room and possibilities for the players. And many genuine positives have been added, but in doing so, it's impacted a number of aspects of the game that I'm very much inclined to address. I don't play these games looking out for something to jump out and criticize, only that it's a very drastic change for myself, and I feel like I'm entitled to my feelings. It just appears that I've returned to Bloxburg while it's in a transitional state. Well, I don't know how popular the game truly is anymore, compared to its peak, at least in my eyes, as well as other adjacent games. I just hope it continues to move in a positive direction and have that sort of self-introspection and reflection, especially regarding new features as it's being developed. I'm going to have to wait to talk about the build mode, as I'll have to sit down and really comb through to find what's noteworthy. I feel like I will have a lot to say about the prices and the wages, but I also feel like that's well covered within the community, and I've already talked about it in the past. So there's no reason to revisit that as much. And that's about it for this video. I'll just tack on some extra things in the end here. I drove by this building playing a song that I thought was odd, but when I walked in, it completely changed. Like, as if it never happened, which I'm not sure if that's normal or not. But regardless, I'm still happy to see that the building community in this game is alive and well. And of course, I'm very happy that you guys have your support and have been sharing your support with me. Always appreciated. They haven't added drowning to the game yet, as far as I can tell. Just don't use any emotes while underwater. There appear to be legitimate consequences. Perhaps we'll be sent to the Mug Realm, where the mug fell. I think it's just interesting to grow older and look back at things, to evaluate for yourself, and allow a little exploration. We all know that nothing in this world remains stagnant, but we often return to experiences in our lives looking to recapture memories and feelings in our mind. And while I enjoyed doing so today, I feel like I've had to remind myself to take a step back. After all, there are thousands and thousands of well-made games on Roblox. Except for this one. Yeah, I've admittedly only played maybe 100 or less in the last 10 years. I'm very adverse to learning new systems. I find comfort in what's already familiar to me, so I often stick to what I know, even stubbornly so. But here, when I return and little remains the same or recognizable, I wonder what the flaw was in what I originally liked, why something I'd grown to enjoy and saw no issue with has been replaced. My circle of games have been very small, so to find one almost as a stranger after just a short amount of time is rather uncomfortable and unwelcoming. This is not a criticism of the game, only a result of my attachment and unrealistic expectations. Just the same as we should expect a person to adapt and improve throughout their lives. A game such as Bloxburg should be no different.